Pineal gland. More people in the modern era, this age of information, are aware now that they have a thing called a pineal gland. A dormant, well, in most people, a dormant gland sitting in the very center of the brain, and it's the first thing to calcify in the whole body on the vast majority of humans on this current time, space, earth experience. Now, in the links below, you're going to find a lot of information about physical reasons, you know, fluoride in the water, for example, contributing to the calcification of the pineal gland, and also physical ways to deal with the cleaning and the removing of that type of blockage. Go upstairs, buddy. Daddy's doing a video. Okay? I'll see you in a little while. So, also I'm going to link some, well, as I'm doing this video, I'm not sure what I'll find, but because I'm pulling this out of the nether, I'm sure it's out there. I'm going to look for some links on the internet to do with the esoteric reasons, which I'm understanding, and I'm going to share right now before I even go read what anybody else has brought through about this. But I'll be attaching some links about that too for those interested. Because here's the thing, even on this channel, even though currently about 98% of the subscribers I have on this channel mostly came to this channel for the bodybuilding content, right? Or the feats of strength or stuff along those lines. But all elements of life are connected, and that's one thing I'm not afraid to demonstrate with this channel. So here's the thing, guys. Some of you have been asking me more about, okay, how do we decalcify the pineal gland? And I'm going to continue to help you guys with that. But there's a really important message I need to give you right now before we go any further with that project. Those of you who want to find out what this dormant gland in your brain actually does, please understand, you're literally talking about the most important central gland in your brain, which you have not had access to before now. And you're talking about opening it up, and you're talking about discovering things that, to put it lightly, are going to blow your mind. Those of you interested in opening your pineal gland, decalcifying it, I want you to look through every single video on my metaphysical playlist and then come back and tell me that you still want to decalcify your pineal gland. I need you to understand that, first of all, you better be a red pill person because you're going on an adventure that's beyond words. And secondly, I need you to understand that when your pineal gland's open, if you share any of the things you experience, you know, now you're the crazy person, okay? Now, I don't mind being called a madman. I don't mind being called crazy. It's quite amusing to me. I accepted that before I decided to share any of this with anybody, and I'm perfectly okay with that. However, you need to understand, guys, when you're asking me how do we decalcify the pineal gland, this is not some small thing like, you know, how do we learn to tie our shoes, or, you know, how do I learn to bench press 500 pounds? We're talking about something here that if you do it, the entire course of your reality and future, past and present, and things beyond words changes, okay? Now, personally, I think the changes are absolutely priceless, but I just want to tell you guys, okay, if it's more valuable to you to be accepted by society, to stay within the comfortable confines of the things your mind currently believes, you don't want to decalcify your pineal gland. And this is leading into the more esoteric side of this. Guys, whenever there's a physical thing, like let's take calcium buildup on your pineal gland, there are emotional and spiritual and energetic reasons behind why that happened. Things don't happen for random, no reason. Nothing that ever is, was, will be, etc. was without multitude and infinity of reasons for its being, okay? The calcification of the pineal gland, sure, fluoride helps with it, imbalanced diets, blah, 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 pollution, toxicity, stress, unnatural ways of living. Sure, these things all physically help us calcify our pineal gland, but the real reason why pineal glands start calcifying in humans on this planet, even at a very young age, is fear. Fear. I can look back and even know when I started to calcify mine because I was seeing so much. It was terrifying as a child. Now, even if you weren't like me and you weren't tormented by a whole bunch of interesting spirits and so forth when you were a little kid, you come up in a world that teaches you beliefs that will cause you to shut down your own pineal gland, okay? The way of thinking that is taught in this world by the different religions, by governments, by systems of men, whatever you want to call it, whatever pocket of the earth you're growing up on, the way of thinking, the way of viewing reality, what is acceptable and what is not, what you're allowed to believe and how you're allowed to be and what you're allowed to perceive life to be and not, that very way of thinking calcifies the pineal gland. What your pineal gland is actually capable of is so far beyond what the vast majority of humans are currently brave enough and have a healthy enough even philosophy to even be messing with, okay? So what happens is when people start to activate their pineal gland, they have a mystical experience, and it scares the shit out of them because you grew up in a world where mystical experiences are basically R-rated ghost movies in Hollywood, okay? That's what's in your subconscious. So the first time you start having your own contact with, it could be an ancestor, it could be a part of yourself, it could be a telepathic communication, it could be a past or a future, it could be a different dimension, it could be a being from a great distance contacting you in your mind. A lot of mystical things can happen, and I'm not going to sit here and try to list them all because that would just run this camera out of record time. But the thing is, guys, because of the templates and worldviews and the ways that you've been taught to see reality, if you start to decalcify your pineal gland and that thing starts becoming active, yes, it's the most wondrous and amazing thing beyond the best sci-fi movie you're ever going to believe, but how are you going to make that work according to your current world beliefs? When you start communicating, for example, with beings that nobody on this planet currently believes in, and you have tremendous information that you'd like to share from them, but the first time you admit where you got it from, you're labeled a loon for the rest of your life. Just so you know, these are some of the interesting conundrums. This is why current humanity has calcified pineal glands. And they're not activating much of their DNA potential, and they're not activating much of their mental, emotional, or physical potential. Fear. Fear of change, of the unknown, of, oh my God, what's happening to me? Anybody who's accidentally gone on a spiritual awakening process can tell you all sorts of different versions of how terrifying that can be. Now, I'm here to tell you you don't actually need to have any fear, okay? It's a natural process, and as confusing and wild as it can be, it's actually healthy for you. In fact, I'm just going to say it, some of the contact I've made, some of the beings that have taught me some things that helped me, that saved my life, that opened me up to new things, because I have decalcified my pineal gland, and we'll get into that. They've made it clear to me that the pineal gland itself is a very good indicator of your ability to stay youthful and healthy in this body. If you can keep your pineal gland detoxified and fluidly working and healthy, the rest of your body will be too. You can perpetuate youth physically as long as you would choose to. But that's also why the pineal gland is the first thing to calcify in the body. It's the most sensitive point to being cut off from your true creative source. It's the most sensitive thing you have physically in your body to connect you to what you might call the other side, or higher truth, or other dimensions, or all of that, okay? That's why it's right in the center of your brain. And it is an eye. It's like a little undeveloped reptilian eye sitting right in the center of your brain, which can actually look throughout the universe and make contact with other things through time and space. It's what your pineal gland is, and it's a lot more than that too. So I just wanted to put that out there, guys, to basically ask you, okay, you the subscribers that I have so far. Now I know a very small percentage of you is here for the metaphysical stuff and you're ready to go. Let's go further down the rabbit hole. But I don't want, 100 subscribers quitting or running away every time I do a metaphysical video because they think that I'm trying to force, like if you came here for how to build bigger muscles, and then every time I do a metaphysical video you feel like you want to unsubscribe because you think I'm trying to shove some belief system down your throat, please understand, I have zero agenda. You don't need to see anything I see. You don't need to have any of the experiences I've had. You don't need to perceive reality the same way. You don't need to believe anything in particular, okay? My beliefs don't encompass any of that. They're not a control system. They're not a slavery system, okay? I'm free. I'm free, and with my freedom, what I'm choosing to do with it is bring through as much higher energy and information and world-changing energy into this equation of this current Earth for everyone's sake, for the planet's sake, and for anyone on it who's open to it, who's ready for it. That's what I'm choosing to do with my freedom, to occupy myself while I'm, choosing to be in this form, okay? This is one of the things I'm choosing to do. So, that being said, I'm putting it out there like an offer, okay, to all of you. Because, again, it's almost becoming a pop culture term. Decalcify your pineal gland, like everybody's doing it, But I can tell people don't really have any idea what they're actually talking about doing here. This is not like fixing the arthritis in your elbow. This is like opening a portal to layers of reality that you did not know existed and maybe you didn't want to, okay? That's what we're actually talking about here. Real higher level Jedi shit, the kind of shit that makes you leave behind your concerns about what anybody in this world thinks about you, because you realize this world's completely closed off, in the dark about what's really going on, okay? So if you're ready to leave that connection behind, if you really have enough stability within yourself, enough of a healthy philosophy of life and your connection to source, that you're ready to truly venture Jedi style into things that the people around you haven't experienced at all, let me know, guys, because that's exciting. If you're ready to step things up to that level, we can combine our willpower together and we can make an effort together and we can become frickin' pineal pioneers, okay? We can explore the dark side of the damn universe together if we want to, okay? There's really no words for it, how big these implications are, so you guys let me know. Again, I'm not here to scare anybody off. I'm just as happy to share a 600-pound dip with you as I am, how to talk to a being on the far side of the universe. It's all valuable. It's all experience. I'm an eternal being and I'm free. So any use of my so-called time is good. As long as I'm interacting with some of you and you're finding some kind of benefit in it. Okay? You tell me what benefits you guys are really looking for. But I needed those of you who really are on the Jedi path, apparently, because you're asking me. You're serious about this pineal gland thing. I needed you to understand, guys, okay? We're really talking red pill, blue pill here. Like you open your pineal gland, to say the least, you're never going to be the same again, okay? Now, I would never go back to being an unconscious, commodity on this planet like I was before I decalcified mine. But at the same time, just know, guys, you'll look just as crazy as me, okay? Like I said, go look through the entire metaphysical playlist and understand that I wouldn't be expressing all those things there if I didn't value the expansion of the mind and the heart and the awareness of humanity over my reputation or credibility as an individual. Because, again, guys, it's a very red pill experience, and if you open that door, those doors, like nothing's ever going to be the same for you again. You're going to be living in multiple dimensions at the same time, and your perception of what so-called human life on Earth is versus the people around you that still have it calcified shut because they're not ready to see any of that, it really does put you in a different world. And I just want you to know that your social scene, the whole fitting in thing, now maybe you'll be fortunate enough to find some group somewhere near where you live who actually works with things like this, energies like this, and maybe you could have some sort of a connection that way. But there's a good chance that, like myself, you're going to have... I'm a lone wolf anyway, so it's easy for me. But what I'm trying to warn everybody about is that you may become the oddball even in your own family. Like your own family members may not know what to do with you if you open your pineal gland, okay? They'll probably still love you, but it doesn't mean that they won't become afraid and react badly by the things that you start trying to share. Because it's really hard not to share some of the things you're going to experience. They are so wondrous and so amazing, and you want so badly for this world to benefit from some of the things that you've been shown. But just beware, okay? Because they still haven't seen it, and to them, you just look like your mustard slid off your cracker. Okay, that's how it looks to people that have a calcified pineal gland who live in a three-dimensional at best reality. Some of them even more two-dimensional. And that part of their brain, that antenna, that perception isn't even there. It isn't even working. So the things you're telling them are not a reality to them. So if they're a gentle person, they'll react to you one way, but if they're a combative, negative, fear-based psycho person, you can literally be just attacked, okay, in a variety of ways, just for sharing truth with people that aren't ready for it, okay? This pattern's been on this planet. You could call it light and darkness or ignorance and knowledge, but suffice it to say, many personalities have come into this world to share more knowledge and more awareness and more truth than what the world was willing to accept at the time or open to. And you tend to get martyred for things like that, you know what I mean? So I just think it's nice that the world's becoming excited about let's all decalcify our pineal glands. That's great. That's a good step in the right direction. But on the other side of the scale, I think a bit of fair, realistic, tangible sort of warning about what you're actually talking about doing. Give people some idea of some of the implications of this. Now, as far as the experiences with an uncalcified pineal gland, what's possible, I can't even begin to explain. There's no words. There's no point in even trying to describe that. I'm simply describing to you some of the simple, consequences to being the weirdo who has visions or travels or knows things that other, whatever, communicates, or, you can get labeled a lot of things and you can be pushed away by, what was your social whatevers. So what I'm saying is if you're a very social person, unlike myself, and a lot of your life stability revolves around your social connectedness and your social scene and where you fit into that, just know that opening your pineal gland means your whole life scene is going to change very much, okay? And there's no saying whether any of those same people will be able to stay within a close enough vibration to who you are to even be in your life anymore. The amount of change that you'll go through may cause them to just go elsewhere. That happens, just so you know. I mean, this is the type of thing that could end any kind of relationship, possibly. If one person decalcifies their pineal gland and the other person doesn't, the amount of change and evolution and expansion that person is going to go through is going to change their vibration, their personality, their trajectory for life so much that they may be completely uncompatible with that other person now if they're not going to follow the process and decalcify theirs so that they can increase their awareness and vibration, so you'll be somewhat more compatible. Guys, this is about energy and reality. I'm not trying to talk anybody out of decalcifying your pineal gland. It's a wonderful It's a truly awesome thing to do. In fact, I'm trying to add to the picture so you understand just how big of a thing you're really talking about. This is not something where you go take some bottle of pills and magically it's decalcified and everything's great. We're talking about choosing to access a part of yourself that most human beings traditionally on this planet have been too terrified and too blocked off to do. That's how big of a thing this is. Again, there's not really words. I can't put enough words, okay? I could not with words describe to you the things that I've experienced, okay? You just have to have your own you have to have your own multi-dimensional experience, okay? And then you'll understand that it's, words, we have to connect beyond words when it gets to that level because there's no words for it. Words are silly, monkey popping, clicking noises that we learned on Earth, and they only go so far. They don't even describe things like this. So let me know, Jedis. Because like I say, I don't want a bunch of subscribers getting all mad, making hateful comments and unsubscribing because you're so threatened if I do a metaphysical video that you're going to go running away. I don't want that, guys. I'm not here to offend anybody or freak anybody out. I'm hoping that by prefacing, whatever that word is, prefacing, whatever I'm doing right now, it helps all of you understand. Those of you who are here for the metaphysical stuff, I know you're already on board. But the 98% of you that came aboard because, I can rack pull 1,500 pounds and I got mountains for back muscles and all that good shit. Please understand that all that good shit was only possible because of this good shit, okay? So if you actually want to tap into a little more of what makes this thing the unusual beast that he is, you're going to have to start making the connections to this other stuff too. But again, I have no agenda. Anything on this channel, you pick and choose the pieces that you're open to, okay? And you guys let me know where that's at. You let me know what level you want to take it to, okay? So I'll put a few useful links about pineal glands and the detoxification thereof. Look at the links below. But if you guys want to get into a real creative Jedi project with me on this, where we make it a discipline, where we put the building up of the function of our pineal gland at just as high of a priority as, say, a bicep. Because your bicep, it can lift things and it can look awesome, but your pineal gland can literally connect you to things that right now don't even exist in your reality, okay? And it's almost, it is. It's a major cheat when you're able to communicate with intelligences that exist outside this human experience that are just way the hell more aware of what's going on, The things that you can get from them, I don't want to call it a cheat or a life hack or whatever, but it's just so Jedi, I can't even come up with words for it. So let me know, my friends. I've rambled enough about this, and I'm going to go get into some deeper meditations and connections and so forth myself today. But how much I share of that with you guys is up to you guys, because again, too much too fast for certain people just causes them to be defensive or to miss the point or to not benefit or to react offensively or to run away, and it's not what I'm here for. I'm here for all of you in a sense. So how can I work with all of you? You guys let me know, okay? And I'll have to get a feel for where everybody's at and make decisions based on that, on where we go from there. So give me feedback if you feel me on this. And yes, I mean you. If this message matters to you, then I mean you.